Today we're going to learn how to set up Logic Pro X for post-production sound to picture work. We're going to create a template. So the first thing that we need to do is open up Logic Pro X. Do that by clicking on the icon on the taskbar. You should get a Choose a Project dialog box that looks like this with Empty Project as the default selection. If you can't see all of the details, it's because the Details tab hasn't been clicked. To open up the details, just click on the little arrow next to the word. We don't need to worry about nearly any of this. We are interested in sample rate and frame rate. So it could be that the sample rate on your machines, as you look at it now, is 44.1. That's audio only default standard. It's actually compact disc standard that was set up in the early 80s, 44.1 kilohertz, 16-bit. The industry standard for sound to picture post-production work is 48 kilohertz. So if it isn't already 48K, just click on here and select 48. The frame rate should be 25 FPS, which is the European PAL standard. In the department, we instruct our cinematographers, our directors, our documentarists, and our editors to shoot and edit on 25 FPS. So let us set the frame rate for 25 FPS. You will find that when you import a film, sometimes the frame rate is not 25 FPS. It is 2997, the NTS American standard, the NTSC American standard. Films shot on iPhones will have that. Now, Logic can identify the frame rates of films that it imports, and if the frame rate is different to the default setting here, it'll tell you so and offer you the chance to convert your project to the frame rate that the film is. Always take that option. Always design the film to the frame rate that the film is. Okay, but the default should be 48K 25 FPS. You will then get a dialog box that looks like this. Choose a track type with the audio as the default. And we will be using just audio for this template. As we progress throughout the course, we will be using software instruments, but for now, we're just going to select audio. Don't worry about any of this stuff, it's not important for you right now. However, we want to create 4 tracks. Number of tracks to create, select or type in 4, not 14, 4 only. There we go, and click Create. And your timeline should look approximately like this. It's very important that you have the command click tool and the left click tool and the snap and the drag. If you do not have these, it means advanced editing features have not been set up on this machine. And I'm going to show you now how to do it. You only ever have to do it once per machine. And if you're working from home on your own machine with your own version of Logic, you only ever have to do this once and it will always remember. Go to Logic Pro, go to Settings and select Advanced. As you can see, Enable Complete Features has already been ticked on my machine. Now I'm going to untick it and you will see Snap, Drag and the command click tool disappear. There we go. So it's essentially basically GarageBand with a few extra bits and pieces. We don't want that. We need to enable complete features. So tick that box and close the box down. You never have to do it again on the machine that you're on now. Okay, so we've got our command click tool back. We've got our snap back and our drag back. The next thing I want to do is I want to label the 4 tracks that we created. I'm just going to zoom, I'm going to widen these tracks by using this resolution bar up here. There we go, you can see them better. And I'm going to label them with types of sound. Audio 1 will be dialogue. Audio 2 will be Atmos, short for atmosphere. Audio 3 will be Foley, which is action sounds. And audio 4, diegetic music. Diegetic music is the music that the characters can hear. It occupies itself within the interior narrative of the film. Non-diegetic music is music that only the audience can hear. Okay, the next thing we need to do is switch off the snap. Snap means that when you drag a file onto the timeline, it'll move it, when you drag it, it'll move it in specific increments based on the grid system here, the bars and beats system here. We don't want that. We want it to be able to move freely because we're going to want to position the sound object directly in synchronization with the visual object. And if you move it in jumps, you can't always guarantee that. So we switch snap off. The drag, sometimes we'll have a sound effect, an Atmos effect, that it isn't long enough for the scene that it needs. And so we can copy and paste it and overlap it to create the sense of one continuous sound file. So we want to click on the no overlap and select crossfade. And there we have it. So if you're actually working on your own software, on your own machine at home, you can then save this as a template. Go to File and Save as a template. And then that's stored in your templates folder, which you can access every time you open up Logic for a new project. However, we're going to save it as just a standard file. So let's go to Save. And in the Save As window, type in STP, which stands for Sound to Picture, template, and in brackets, type 48K. Frame rates may change, but sound to picture is always 48K. Organize my project as a package and make sure copy the following files into your project: audio files, sampler, audio data. We won't need this now, but we will maybe even next week, certainly the week after. Space designer impulse responses and movie file. So make sure those are all ticked. Remember, save my organize as a package. Navigate to your own personal space on the EduChair system. I'm actually at home, so I'm going to navigate to my recent work hard drive. And then I'm just going to click Save. And STP template 48K suddenly appears above this bit here, this little window here, which I can't remember for the life of me what I call it. Transport control display, let's call it that. And that's it. So I'm going to close Logic Pro down now. And I'm going to open up my own personal space. And there we have it. You can see it right there next to the sacrifice exercises, which is what we're going to be doing as our first exercise in sound to picture work. So I'm going to double click on STP template. And there we have it. And we're all ready to import the movie into the and there we have it. So we're all ready to start work. The next thing we're going to do is import a movie file, but that's the next clip.